welcome to Vacation Station, hosted by Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazines.com.
Welcome to Big Blend Radio's second Friday Food, Wine, and Travel Show with the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. Nancy and I love our second Friday shows because we get to chat with travel writers who go around the world on these amazing adventures. And we also get to chat about the destinations themselves. And today's show, we're very excited to welcome back Jenny Wedge. She is the Director of Public and Community Relations of Travel Costa Mesa. And Costa Mesa is in Southern California. Nancy and I have been traveling the country. I think the last time since we spoke to her was July 2020. And, you know, COVID had started and all that, you know, and we all thought like, oh, we're going to all be at home for a month and then we'll get back out to normal life. And it didn't work that way. And when we were in Lubbock, Texas, she called into a show and we talked about what they were doing in Costa Mesa. And, you know, this whole COVID thing is stretched on, but things are lifting up. There is a light at the end of the tunnel finally. I encourage you to go to their website, travelcostamesa.com. We're excited because we're going back to California, so hopefully we'll get to dip our toes in the ocean and get out to your area. Jenny, welcome back. How are you?
Thank you so much, Lisa, and it's great to be back, and we'd love to have you come visit. I'd love to meet you in person.
I know, Nancy and I are like, we gotta do this, you know, it would be so cool because you've been on the show now. It's our second time. I know that even travel writer Linda Kassam had an article on Costa Mesa a few years back, but I almost feel like with what we do with our radio shows and magazines and all the travel content and almost all content, it almost feels like we have to start fresh on everything. Do you feel that in your position in you know, being the PR director and just for Travel Costa Mesa, it's like you almost have to start from the beginning again, even though everything's still there, you know?
That's sort of been the common message I've been hearing in the industry is it's actually an opportunity to start our story and retell our story again because people have not been able to travel, and now more than ever they're ready to start getting out there and exploring things they maybe aren't familiar with. So it's just an opportunity, especially for destinations that might be lesser known, like Costa Mesa, to talk about the great things that we offer and giving people an opportunity to get out and explore something a little different.
You know, in Costa Mesa, so tell everybody where you are location-wise so they know, like, where to turn off the highway because listen, and you can fly in, right? There's an easy way to get there and flying in. And but if you're traveling down the highway, where are you in regards to, let's just say, Los Angeles, Orange County for a beacon for folks?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're about an hour south of Los Angeles or LAX airport. We do have an airport really close by in Orange County called John Wayne Airport. So that would be the closest coming to us. Long Beach Airport is another airport not too far from us as well. And for those driving in, we're right off the 405 freeway, which is a common freeway that goes pretty close to the coast, but all the way from Los Angeles and then connects with another freeway called the 5, which goes down to San Diego. So we're about an hour and a half north of San Diego. And when you're in Costa Mesa, you're actually about 10 minutes to Newport Beach and 20 minutes to Disneyland, which is in Anaheim. So we're kind of centralized there.
Wow. Let's go to lodging real quick on that because with your location, it sounds like you could be a good hub for folks to not only just, you know, hey, here's the hotel room that I want and that it's safe. Even when travel's lifting up, right, I think people are going to still be kind of like, I want to be clean. I want a clean room. I want to make sure that I'm not getting infected from other, you know, there's a whole other world of caution when you travel. And I mean, we deal with it on a daily basis. So you want to have the right lodging and then you don't want to go from one to the other. Maybe not. You want to just kind of, here's my place and I'll go explore all these other areas and Costa Mesa, obviously, but you sound like a hub. Like you could be a good place to be able to go explore all these other places.
Yeah, well, we definitely feel that that is an ideal kind of situation for a traveler to come stay in Costa Mesa in one of our 11 branded hotel properties, who, by the way, have all followed very strict protocols to continue to be able to operate safely and clean throughout their facilities. And we highlight all of that on our website for anyone that is looking to come so that they can understand what the hoteliers are doing to make it a safe visit. But being in Costa Mesa, as you mentioned, is great because you can go down and spend a day at the beach. You can head up to Disneyland once it opens for the full day. And in addition to that, San Diego is only a little over an hour. So for people that might want to go down to San Diego to explore that area, or to go to SeaWorld, for example, or up to LA, for example, to Universal Studios. So we're definitely a very good centralized point and less busy than some of the for example, beach communities where a lot of people do flock to. And because that's such a big outdoor activity right now, it does get busier. So it gives you the opportunity to sort of stay where it may be a little bit calmer and there's a little bit more open space, but you have access to all these other things in the area.
I know, because, Southern California, I know it's like, it gets congested like in LA, right? You go downtown LA, that's a whole different deal. But there are beautiful parks, and that's something that, when you bring a friend into Southern California, we used to live there, and I was born in Southern California, you go to, it's like, oh, there's this immediate thing, it's all beach. But no, there's these inland areas with parks too that are absolutely beautiful. You wouldn't believe all the oak trees, and yes, there's squirrels, and there's all these other like beautiful hiking trails you can take. Then you can see the coast, or you can see, just like meadows and wetlands. I mean, it's just, there are amazing outdoor opportunities in California. As the whole state is the most diverse state, for sure. It really is incredible. So for Costa Mesa, someone coming and checking in to a hotel, they're like, okay, how do I get outside and enjoy? There's the beach, right? So from outside of the beach, are there parks? Are there places for people to go? Like, I want to go for a hike and take a picnic.
Yeah, absolutely. We have over 30 parks in our city.
Wow.
All different sizes, of course. But
we do need to come see you then. I mean, we're talking in all parks, from pocket parks all the way to national parks. I'm coming.
Oh, yeah. Yes. There's some top 10 best parks in Costa Mesa online and things like that. But one of the popular ones, and that we like to recommend for a variety of reasons, it's called Fairview Park, and it's 200 acres. So you have different habitats within that park, and there's wetlands, as you had mentioned, grassland areas. People go there to hike, bike. There's beautiful bluffs where you can watch the sunset. And one of the really great things about this park is it connects to the Santa Ana River Trail, which is takes you right down to the beach. So you can go start in this park there in the parking lot, and if you have a bike with you or you rent a bike, for example, you can hop on a trail and get right down to the beach from here. And there's also just beautiful views from the park. So it's very wide open, the wide open spaces, great for picnics and family activities, but really just to explore the outdoors and the natural habitat. There's also a lot of native plants blooming right now, flowers, as well as endangered species in this park. So a lot of people go here for bird watching, and often there are monthly bird tours. So that's something fun that a visitor can check out as well.
Oh, how cool. That's really cool. Yeah, so bird watching, I know that's so huge. People travel the world just to find that one bird on their list. They have the bird list, and they will go everywhere they can to find all those birds, and it's so interesting too in Southern California, because you do have the ocean, then you have those inland waterways and the marshes and the mountains. I mean, it's a really cool birding destination. It really is. I'm kind of homesick. We've been on the East so long. Right now we're in Texas again, by the way, as we record this. We're in Texas again. The first time we talked to you, we were in Lubbock. Now we're in Dallas, but we're circling around. We're coming back, and the East has been amazing. I'm not knocking the East whatsoever. We've had an amazing time, but there's something, I think, internal in you is like if you were born in California, you get this little giddy up of excitement as you start turning the car west. You start feeling like you're going home. There's like a DNA gene in there, like yippee, we're going. Let's go have some fun. Yeah, it is. But let's talk a little bit about the camp, because this is something very unique too. You've got, and it seems, just tell everybody about it, because this is unique. This is very, you're not going to find this everywhere in the country.
Yeah, the camp is actually named the camp because it's focused on sort of outdoor enthusiasts, healthy lifestyles, wellness, but it's a retail and dining. Small and intimate in the sense that, when you say campus, you might think something large is like a university or something, but it was created for the local community about 15 years ago, and is sort of anchored by one major shop called Seed People's Market, and it's actually one half of it is all for outdoor enthusiasts. So you've got camping gear, outerwear, as well as it also has a whole segment featuring local artisans and their products like bags and clothes and jewelry and candles and so forth. And so it's a great place to just shop and get something sort of unique from the area. And then there's about a dozen restaurants in there as well, and a couple other boutique-style shops. The restaurants, like I mentioned, often focused on, more health-conscious food offerings, vegan, vegetarian, juices, but a couple of great brunches as well. And there's actually some breweries in the area, but in that little center area. But the campus itself is designed to be eco-friendly. All the plant life that's there's many herbs and plants that are available to the restaurateurs to use for their seasonal cooking. And there's also a storm drain system that was built there to help treat the water before it goes into the storm drains when it leaves the property. And so it was designed to be very eco-friendly and sustainable for the long term. And it's one of the first known campuses like that in the country.
That's amazing. And when you think about being, it just seems like such a beautiful experience in shopping and walking around, like breathable when we think about social distancing right now.
Yes, exactly. And yes, so it's all outdoor. And as I mentioned earlier, you can, get food and sit on benches outdoors, or the restaurants also have their own dining spaces. And in fact, one of them added a rooftop dining area during COVID, which was really cool. And it's been very popular. It's a fun experience. And yeah, you're outdoors, getting fresh air and, able to distance yourself as needed. And and I think when anyone visits the destination, you kind of want to find what are the unique things to the area, because every destination has shopping. Everyone has great restaurants, some better than others, but this kind of is sort of a niche spot that people would not expect. And honestly, when you drive by it, if you're not familiar with it, you can't tell really what's there because it's all sort of behind the main major streets.
But I like places like that. I think a lot of travelers now, you think about, it's not even a generational thing, about we want authentic travel. We're at that point of, okay, we've done all this side of things, and the younger generation, they want it. They want real stuff. They want to be on the ground, have an experience. And the boomer generation right now, which is also huge in travel, are doing the same thing. And I don't know. Everywhere we go, we are meeting and dealing with travelers. And I think it's just that everybody's like, you know what, we want to get down to real stuff. And it sounds like Costa Mesa with the camp, that's something unique and really cool. And you've got a really good location. You've got all these parks. Are you seeing like your travelers coming from, I know it's been weird. It's been a weird year, right? Since we last talked, it's been weird with the whole COVID thing. Yeah. But it seems like you've had a destination where even just locals can still have some quality of life. And then visitors now, I think we're going to see a lot of road trippers. I know air flights and everything have been interesting on pricing and everything. But do you think you're going to see more people road tripping and going, hey, let's go to these, hidden gems this year?
We definitely think that we'll see more road trippers because people are wanting to travel with their families or friends kind of within their own vehicles if they're not ready to fly yet, although flying is supposed to be one of the safest environments to be in. But in any case, I think as people start to venture out again, it's going to be closer to home. And so why not visit your neighboring communities that, you could visit every weekend if you wanted to, but just never take the time, right? We always plan trips that are far away. And so what we've already been seeing that people are, tired of being at home. And so they have been visiting our hotels in our city, and we'll definitely anticipate continuing to see that, whether it's coming from a different county like LA or San Diego or more inland or just a neighboring city like Huntington Beach and someone wants to do a sort of a staycation in their next city over. I think that's going to be really popular.
Oh, cool. And then, because the whole coast, I'm sorry, I'm homesick. I'm like ready to come out to California because like spring in Southern California is so beautiful. There's wildflowers that bloom on the side of the highways. I mean, if you go along the coast, I mean, you can get that fog, that June gloom too, but then it lifts up and it's like, ooh, and all the flowers are happy, and that brings me to the Centennial Farm. You sent me a photo of that. All kinds of succulents and plants. So I know the gardening may be really bigger this year than it was. I mean, just over this whole, COVID thing, people started cooking. They started like, oh, we really missed this cocktail. Can we go get it, maybe curbside or wine or whatever it is. But people are doing gardens again. So it seems like the Centennial Farm looks to me like a good place to go for that.
Well, it's definitely educational for learning about gardening, and it's actually a fully functional farm here in Costa Mesa. Yeah, so the produce that comes from the farm, that is sent to local food banks, but it's also the farm itself, Centennial Farm, is used to educate elementary students, visitors to the community. When it's open, you can just take free tours and you kind of learn about all these different herbs and trees, and they often have workshops to teach you about how to plant your own seeds and create your own garden at home. And then the farm itself also has various animals, and it's a great family activity, but I think for adults as well, it's an outdoor outing at the OC Fair and Events Center, which is a much larger space, but this farm itself is just serene, and it gives you some, indication of things you could take and do at home with your on your own as well.
That's really cool because people want to do that, Everyone's in that mode of like, hey, we need to do this and also be self-reliant in some ways, right? Because this was like a big lesson. It's kind of like, you know what? I do want to have a garden so I can get a vegetable out of there when I want it. We're kind of in that zone. Yeah, it was kind of like we got to get down to basics a little bit. We've got a lot of lessons we learned through this last year of the COVID pandemic. But the other thing, too, I know when we talked about this when you were on the show in July last year, was, public art being such it was, you were talking about events. You've got beautiful, you are the city of the arts, And so at that time when you were on the show, you were talking about how you were doing unique ways of people being able to see, orchestras perform. And there was like all these different ways everybody was coming together. So what do you see now, like for spring, summer, for the arts? I mean, we talk about public art and events and performances. What does that look like?
Yes, we definitely miss our arts, and we know that people really benefit from the community of arts. And so what we've been seeing more recently is with the performing arts segment, while there are various virtual activities going on online to allow these artists to perform and share their art with the community that loves them, the Segerstrom Center for the Arts is our performing arts center in Orange County, and traditionally would have, your Broadway shows, your symphony, your ballet, and we probably won't see those for a bit longer in person. However, they do have a large outdoor plaza there that's at the Performing Arts Center where they've been able to create socially distanced activities that are set up sort of in pods. So it's been great to see that they can bring a musician out and have, groups that come together and purchase, say, 6 seats, and they can see a live performance out on the plaza or watch a movie on a large screen. One of the other things that's been great is they've been doing wellness Wednesdays and wellness weekends where you can sign up and attend a dance class or a yoga class. And so it gets people outside. It's active, good for our souls. But they've been able to mobilize various different activities in a safe environment there. So we look forward to those kind of things continuing right now until the full operation is able to open. But one of the other things that sort of surrounds the Performing Arts Center is the over 25 public art pieces that have been there for many, many years. And it's sort of a self-guided space and tour that you can view these lovely art pieces. But what we did during COVID was we re-energized that art walk and we added audio to it. So now a visitor could really learn a lot about the art piece, the artist that created it. And we have a map that's on our website that's sort of self-guided, tells you where to go and so forth. And so that, I think, just really enhances the experience for a visitor. And it's outdoor, very well spread out, and it's free.
I love that. I think it's so good for the artists, too. And it's so good for, I don't know, well, you guys, we do have to come out to you because we're doing a special publication on public art across America. So we're going to have to come see you and just do that.
Please do.
Yeah. I know. It's so cool because I think, COVID has been terrible. I mean, if we can all, lives have been lost. It's devastating. But I think that it's also turned our minds around of how do we live in quality of life and look at our backyard a little bit more, like physically, our immediate backyard, and then our communities and the communities that neighbor us. And I think I think we've got some changes that will happen. I think people are going to hang out in America a little bit longer, over the next 2 years. And we'll see people travel more into hey, I haven't been to California. It's not that far from Georgia. Trust me, I drive these things all the time. It's just not that far. And a road trip is cool. And I do want to say, rest areas across America have done such a good job of keeping us all sanitized and healthy, better than what they were 2 years ago. Let me just say. So if you're road tripping, it's a whole different world than what it was 2 years ago. It's easier in some ways. And I think we're seeing a new resurgence of it. So if you're back east, you've got to head west. And if you're back west, you got to head east too. We got to see each other, do those iconic road trips. They're beautiful. See America. It's beautiful. It really, really is beautiful. It's amazing. It's amazing being someone from the West going out to the East and experiencing the East and finding wow, this is a different country almost, and place is really unique and amazing. And so I just say, everybody, as best you can, whatever you can do in your budget and ability and time to see America. Of course, go travel the world as you want to. But right now, as we're all getting back into, we're not going to be perfect for a while. So you might as well socially distance travel. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, go to Costa Mesa. We're going to, So go check it out. I really hope Americans travel more in their country this year, over the next 2 years, really. I really do. I think it's important, and we can learn a lot from each other. The more we travel, the more we learn from each other, and maybe be a stronger country through it too. So, but Jenny, this is cool. This is cool. I'm glad you guys are doing good and have so many options for people to go out in the outdoors, still experience the arts in some way, see the beach, go to a theme park when they open. When do you think the theme parks will open? That's hard because everything changes, right?
Yeah, I think you need a crystal ball for that one.
Yeah.
They're a large venue, and, we're in California, which seems to make a difference in how policies are determined. So it's really hard to say. I will say for the springtime, if, your listeners are interested, that Disney's California Adventure, for example, and Knott's Berry Farm are doing special, about a 6-week run of a sort of a food sort of festival, highlighting some of the great food that are in the theme parks, allowing people to come into the parks. It's a ticketed event, still some way for them to be a part of the magic and those theme parks that they are missing. But they won't be fully open, and, there's no rides right now and so forth. But it's something. It's some way to experience them.
Hey, go get in the ocean with a boogie board. That's a ride. That's
right.
And
it's free.
Yeah, really. Oh, before you go though, we talk about lodging. Give everybody an overview about the kind of hotels or where they can stay. Do you have vacation rentals? What's the lodging lineup look like?
Yeah, we work with 11 hotel properties, and they're all branded from a boutique style that's sort of unique to our area, highlighting the arts or the sort of proximity to the beach with surfing, themes and that sort of thing. I'd say we're very diverse in our offerings. We have something for sort of all budget types, for families, for couples, something that's maybe a little bit more luxurious, but we have some beautiful pools at our properties, and a number of properties have restaurants on site, as well as they're very easy to walk to many of the activities in the city.
All right. So everybody has got to go to your website and social media. That's a good way to follow you too, right? Tell everybody the website that they should go to.
Our website's travelcostamesa.com, and all of our social media is at Travel Costa Mesa. So Instagram, Facebook, and those are the two, and Twitter, of course, for updates. But I would also say keep an eye on our website, sign up for our notifications or our e-newsletter. We do run some great deals once in a while on hotel stays to give you some money back in your pockets so you can enjoy the destination even more. So I'd definitely say to follow us and keep an eye out for some of those things.
Awesome. And I want to thank the International Foodway and Travel Writers Association. I love our segments. Nancy and I both. Every second Friday, tune into Big Blend Radio. Go to bigblendradio.com. You'll see the links there. Every second Friday, we interview writers and destinations, and super happy to have Costa Mesa back in the spotlight with us here on Big Blend Radio. If you are a destination or a travel writer, check out IFWTWA.org. Speaking of, checking out social media, if you follow the hashtag IFWTWA, you will see, the world of travel at your fingertips. I mean, it's amazing. If you want to armchair travel and plan your next trip, that's what you should follow. So check that out. But we're going to close the show with a song called California Days. I know we've probably way overplayed this song, but how could you overplay a really good song? This is by Josh Pfeiffer from his album American Crooner Act 1. It's a beautiful album. He's got a beautiful voice, and we love playing it because there's nothing like putting down the top, getting in the car, put the top down, and drive along the coast and go on a country drive, go up in the mountains of California. So California Days, that's the song. You can keep up with him at joshpfeiffer.com. But, of course, again, travelcostamesa.com is a place to go. Thank you so much, Jenny, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us. Come visit Costa Mesa.
Oh, we all will. Absolutely. Here it is, California Days.
I love California days where the sunshine smiles on every face, where the ocean breezes blow and the swaying palm trees grow. I love California days. Take a drive on down the coast, find the things you love the most, from the Golden Gate to La Jolla Bay. Everybody knows it's true, so there's nothing you can do but pack your bags and head on down this way. California days. California days. I got my sunshades and put the rag top down to stay. We could head to Monterey and watch that sunset fade away. I love California days. Take a drive on down the coast, find the things you love the most, from the Golden Gate to La Jolla Bay. Everybody knows it's true, so there's nothing you can do but pack your bags and head on down this way. California days, the California days.